Hi, today we are going to look at smartphones, social media impact, and the impact on mental health. We'll also look at how you are being tracked, traced, and is there really a privacy in the concept of social media. In India, this stats could be a year old. You have close to 450 million active internet users, 45 crores, and it's distributed across three major players: Airtel, Jio, Vodafone, and the active users of social media, which could be WhatsApp, could be around 300 million. The Facebook users could be around 340 million, and Telegram users could be around 400 million. So, at least 40 to 50% of the population is active in social media. If I have to know about yourself, uh, how I can know about you in terms of what you search, what places you go, I can rely on Google. The type of communication you make and the contacts you make, I can know from your emails. What's your social circle? What's your financial status? Where you live and work? I can know from your Facebook profile. And your role, title, job, and an average compensation and years of experience, your profession related information I can get from LinkedIn. And in terms of your WhatsApp discussions, I would get to know what is your mindset, what type of personality you are, and how do you present yourself to your relationship to the outside world. Banking, your spending patterns, places you visit, where you check in, where you check out. In terms of Ola, Uber, where all you traveled, and how much you commute, and how much you spend for commute. So this way, there are multiple aspects of it how I can decode, you can decode personality. In terms of social media, when we try to connect, you have a broader circle, you have a lot of connects. What is it good for? Information sharing, it's good for, and you can connect with a wider set of audience, you can collaborate, it can be an opportunity to create more awareness. But then what could be a consequence of this larger group? What is the authenticity of information being shared, and how do you understand the representation versus the reality? And how do I know, am I going to be biased with this information? Is it a genuine information? And my emotional preferences versus, and how do I act to the bias? So there are certain things like what is being shared and who accounts for it. So in a way, what is the source of the information, and is it authentic, is it factual, and the person who is sharing the information, and what is the intended motto. And it could be also leading to excess consumptions of news where you might get into a judgmental mode rather than trying to interpret the information. When we take it with the face value, you might end up going by the word of mouth, and maybe the majority opinion is always right. Or how do I put forward my perspective? Is it data driven? Is it authentic? Why it has happened? What could be the reasons of it? As an individual, you are now being targeted. The advertisements you get, it would be personalized. And how do I know what is right to me, and is majority opinion is right, and do I need to follow what is being the majority opinion? And do I end up buying more because I see a lot of my circle is shopping more, traveling more? And in a way, we are all tied to the smartphones with a low cost internet. We do tend to spend more than what we actually think of. The engagement continues even without your your interest. Like you get into the mode of when it is a debate, or when you get more inclined towards a certain type of news, you tend to follow it up again and again, and it amplifies your engagement. Again, is it possible, am I is there a privacy in social media? Like how I can be tracked? I have my smartphone. First is the from your operator would know what is your IMEI. From your Google account, they would know the hardware mapping to your email address. From your email, we would know where you are located or what are your current recent locations. So in a way, it's not a big deal. It's you're not hiding behind anything. Everything is tracked. It's possible to decode who is the person, where he is located, and what are his recent activities. Can be collected in your smartphone. You can in every let's consider an Android phone. uh, the apps could collect what screens you viewed, how long. A telegram screen I viewed for so much time, and what I viewed in Telegram. I was using WhatsApp for so much time, I was using YouTube for so much time, and what other apps I have installed. And your sensitive information, like what are the SMSs that I read about you in terms of your transaction value. So all this information can be tied up to assess more than what you think, a non-privacy information to know, building up the pieces and building a complete picture about yourself. This is from a research paper where you look at what could be collected from different smartphones and how it can be identified to a device ID, or a cookie ID, or an IMEI number, or to your Google app account, and what is being sent from each of the handset to the providers, be it Microsoft or Google or Samsung. What are the different things they could collect? Device identifiers, app data collectors, and your location telemetric information, and app usage time, how much you use an app, and what are the devices that you have installed. So assume that you visit a adult site, and then you if you visit in Chrome or any browser, like you are being tracked virtually. And then this is from a research web where you can see how the data flows all the way from these adult sites to Amazon or Alphabet or Twitter or anything. Like in a way the device is identified, they would know this device has visited this sites. So whatever recommendations that comes back would be an outcome of the information that is being gathered through your past visits. If I know what are the apps you have been using, what are the sites you have been visiting, how much you visit, then I can identify and classify your personality. I can know your strengths, I can know your weakness, and I can better personalize so that I can make you compulsive, or I know what has an highest probability to sell for this personality type. If you think the data is collected is less, in terms of Google Chrome, what are the things being collected? Your location, browsing history, identifiers, usage data, device diagnostics, location, browsing history, app related, what are the different apps that you have installed. Everything you can see, this is one part of it. But then what it can be collected, the third party information they collect, the advertising info they collect, and from your email as well as your browsing history usage, app history usage. So holistically, when all this data is being linked, it will give a big picture about what you are, what I can sell, and what I should promote, and what kind of news I should share. Think about it. What is that Facebook knows about you? It can know your social circle, it can estimate your financial status, it can know about your location, place, what you work, what you study. It can know what is your affinity towards brands, um, religious affiliations. It can decode a lot more from your pictures as well about your personality, dressing sense, styles, brands. So technically, they can access all the information from your phone as well in terms of collecting additional data, like what we saw from Google, what it can collect. So, can I be traced back? What is all the digital evidence if I have to be prosecuted? What are the things that can be taken off? My communication to websites, what messages I post, the pictures I share, the videos I see, and the videos that I download are assigned to an IP address. And again, my hardware IMEI number could still be tracked. My ISP internet service providers could then link it to these are the IP addresses who have potentially downloaded this particular information. Your web activity, your location information, the text messages, email, your contact list, the call list, duration. And again, if you get a physical access to your drive, you can still get all the deleted information and find it. So maybe our conscience says we are safe and nobody sees us, but literally nothing is private in this era. Mental health, why we do what we do, why can't we avoid it? It's more to do with the dopamine effect or the thrill, the chemicals in the brain, wherein like when you do war games, or you watch an adult content site, or you watch a action packed movie that gives you the a quick way of pleasure than in terms of workout or doing some other outdoor play activity. And again, the amplification of engagement, for every time you get to spend more and more time. And then when you try to take positions in terms of your judgment, it leads to internally you put yourself on one side of a coin where the judgmental abilities lead to hate or a form of anger, and you try to keep the conversation going to prove your point. And yeah, there are a lot of factors which play to the low cost internet and smartphones and always engaged mode. And you there's a lot of time, but is it reasonable or usable, that you need to think through. So what is that? I don't want to confuse you. I just want to say it's not as safe as you think, and the repercussions are much more longer. And we don't know how we are losing focus on our goals because of this. So there's no privacy as such, like you think in incognito mode or in a private mode, nobody sees you. Our deep desires, the searches, keywords, everything is being tracked. And even if you have a lot of open source courses, but still we get bogged with social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. So this is because of this engagement and the low cost smartphone. Almost our social circle is very much limited to smartphones. So emotional wellness takes a toll, and there's no central monitor or alert. We are responsible for our lives. So overall, what do I tend to convey you? It's a virtual addiction which we ourselves get trapped. But again, the goals are the larger purpose of it. We need to think through to come out of it and find what truly is our purpose, and trying to think through, not being ignorant and not being judgmental, and knowing this is all our pain point, this is the mistakes, and I need to come out of it. Thank you.